नमस्कार स्वागत छ म रस्ना पौडेल आज हामीसँग टाटा मोटर्स हेड अफ इन्टरनेशनल बिजनेस फर प्यासेन्जर कार्स का हेड हुनुहुन्छ मिस्टर जॉनी ओमन उहाँसँग हामी कुराकानी गर्दैछौँ वेलकम टु द शो सर
Thank you for having me.
Well, the Tigor has been launched recently in Nepal. What do you have to say about the Tigor? What it is about, and can you briefly explain about Tigor?
Sure. For us, it is, a launch which represents a very important chapter. If we look at the past 2 years, we've actually begun our new journey in passenger vehicles, and by that I mean that we've actually introduced some very new state-of-the-art vehicles in the market, and we've also seen a very good response to these vehicles. So back in 2015 we started with the Zest, followed it up with the Tata Bolt, and then a year ago it was the Tiago, and today we are here with the Tigor. The Tigor actually is the second launch from the Tata Motors passenger vehicle stable, which is based on what we call the impact design philosophy. Impact design really is about creating an impact at first sight, and also leaving a lasting impact much after you've seen the vehicle. So our designers and the engineering team have really worked very hard over the last 3 years to actually bring together a vehicle which is extremely attractive to look at. If you notice the vehicle, it is we call it a style back, and it is a shape that you really don't see in the market, so it's very unique, especially the breakaway silhouette merging very well with the boot and the headlamps. And then of course this combines with very shall I say superior comfort, convenience and connectivity features, which we believe will be very attractive to the customers. So the Tigor definitely represents an important landmark for us, because we believe that it will be a lever for us to strengthen our presence in the sedan segment in Nepal.
So we have seen the responses, the results, outcomes of Tiago vehicles. How about Tigor? How is Tigor different from Tiago?
Technically speaking, if I were to speak like a manufacturer, the Tiago is a hatchback, and the Tigor will fall in the sedan segment. However, today we notice that many customers, for many customers, the difference is really getting blurred. So it is quite common for us to see that a traditionally hatchback customer is willing to experiment with other shapes as long as other needs are met, whether it's in terms of performance, whether it is in terms of comfort, convenience, technology, connectivity and so on. So we believe that a car like the Tigor could be an attractive option for customers seeking hatchbacks as well as sedans. It's a very different car from the Tiago, even though they may be born from the same design philosophy, and like with every launch in recent times, we have seen the addition of new customers, meaning new customers coming into the Tata fold. So we expect that with the Tigor we will also get new customers trying us. So who are these customers? If I were to look at that for a bit, I would say that these are young. By young I don't mean young in age necessarily, young at heart, people who are looking for an individual expression of style, people who are seeking state-of-the-art, best in class features on comfort, convenience, technology. Who could these be? These could be early jobbers, people who have just come into the workforce, and Nepal is a young country, so we believe there are a lot of people who have just come into their jobs. They're seeking a good transport solution. By good I mean great to look at, filled with features and attractively priced. Now we believe the Tigor could be a good option for these young Nepali first-time jobbers.
So talking about the Nepali market of motors, lately four-wheelers have been the prioritized option for Nepalese as well. So what do you have to say about this? What are your expectations on Tigor in Nepali market, focusing on Nepali market?
So the Nepal market actually is one where we are quite optimistic and excited about. going forward.
Let's be concerned on geographical issues as well. Roadways, what about Nepalese roadways? Is it efficient?
So if I look at the last 5 years in Nepal, the market has seen ups and downs, whether it was because of natural disasters, whether it is because right now the liquidity crisis.
Exactly.
Last year was a huge year for the market. Everyone did well. We participated in that growth as well. We did quite well. You talk about infrastructure, but please remember that Nepal has a very low penetration of cars. So cars per thousand in Nepal is still very low, and it is a young population. So it is fair to expect that going forward, the population of cars will only increase because young people will seek to seek transportation solutions for themselves. And we believe that that will accelerate the growth of passenger vehicles. Like every other government, I believe the Nepal government also will adopt progressive measures to ensure that roads and other infrastructure are in place so that motoring becomes a more pleasurable experience. In terms of other issues that I would probably like to bring to the table, I think the tax regime in Nepal is a particularly punishing one. It would be great if the government could have a look at it. But today, for instance, Nepali customers are actually so close. We are so proximate, India and Nepal are so close to each other. Nepal customers can easily view India prices of cars, for instance. But the difference in pricing when a car comes to Nepal is very huge. And a lot of the time we have customers telling us, why is the car price so high? But unfortunately, that's a function of the taxes that are imposed on passenger vehicles. And that's true for the industry. Similarly, another recent disturbance has been the difficulties in obtaining retail finance, car finance for customers. So we believe as these problems get ironed out, Nepal is set to see a much larger car market than what it is today.
Okay. What about the consumer target of Nepal? Like you have targeted a youngster who have a young heart and who seek for stylish and fashionable cars. But do you have any specific plan for Tigor targeting a consumer, Nepalese consumer?
So we believe the product proposition in the case of Tigor is likely to attract the customer that you've just described. But that doesn't mean that others will not be interested. We believe it's a car with mass appeal. However, our task as Tata Motors is to really see how best we can address various segments in the market. So we have other offerings within the hatchback and sedan segment. The Tata Sumo caters to a completely different segment in Nepal, which is basically the routes, and we operate the Sumo on those routes all over Nepal. That's a very different customer. So we believe our product range actually caters to many types of Nepali customers. And we believe the way forward is to actually not look at one specific type, but what we call micro segmentation, really look at clusters within different segments and see how we can pull them towards us.
So there has been so many different companies, models and brands are introduced, launched in Nepali market as we are concerned about Nepali market. What makes Tigor a different one, a global qualitative one to that of them?
Oh yeah, so in terms of, if you were to just first look at the car, and if I ask you name another car that looks anything like this, you won't be able to find one. So the first thing is the kind of look, what we call the style back, the way it has been designed, the way it has been integrated, coupled with all the features I spoke about earlier, which is do with comfort, convenience, connectivity, and I could rattle them off. We have, for instance, in terms of performance, a 1.2 liter Revotron engine throwing 85 PS. We have a Harman touchscreen infotainment system. We have 15-inch alloy wheels. We have ABS, EBD, and corner stability control. We have a very spacious and practical boot. I could go on, and I think the point is that the car is really filled with not just a great design, but a lot of features for the price that we are introducing it at. So we believe this will actually mark it out within the increasing competition, like you mentioned, in Nepal. We do expect even more brands to keep coming in, and I believe that there is space for each brand, but what is important is who are you really targeting it at.
So motor cars are taken as a luxurious goods, especially in Nepal, in Nepali context, with the introduction of various models. What is your company's purpose? What is Tiago's purpose? What is Tata Motor Cars' purpose to launch this Tigor?
So as I mentioned, I think the overall objective is for us to be a strong top 3 player in the Nepal market. We are quite close to achieving that. Last year we finished with a market share of 12%. This year, so far, we are already at 15%. So it's a journey. We are trying to make that journey by introducing a number of products at aimed at different segments and at different price points, so that we are able to achieve this objective. In the case of Tigor in particular, the objective would be for us to gain leadership in the sedan segment.
So there must be a global supplier or distributor to launch this Tiago. How have they been contributing to improve its quality, to meet the global quality level? Yeah, so in fact the Tigor is actually born out of the effort and cooperation of a number of globally renowned companies, whether it is Delphi, Bosch, Harman, the list is long. And what I think the product embodies is really first-rate offerings from each of these suppliers. So just to give you an example, the Harman touchscreen infotainment system that you will find in the Tigor is something that you will find in premium luxury vehicles. You won't find them in this segment. So our partners have really contributed a great deal in bringing together this package called the Tigor, so that we are able to achieve our objective of making it very attractive to the Nepali customer. So you have talked about design philosophy. Tigor is mainly focused on design philosophy. What are the design features, any specific design features of Tigor? Sure, I think I mentioned that. And how has the impact design played out for Tigor? Yeah, so impact design is really about, as I mentioned at the start, a very strong impact at first sight. You know, you look at it and you say, wow. And once you've stopped looking at it, you're still thinking about it. So it's a lasting impact. And the Tigor, as I said, is the second vehicle in this that follows the impact design philosophy. This gets carried on into various other elements. So impact design is not just about exterior, but also about the interior. And where the exterior is more about making the car very expressive in terms of individuality, in terms of design, the interior is about making it inviting, making it in touch, you know, in terms of technology. So there are a lot of features like the ones I mentioned, whether it's the infotainment, whether it is, there are 24 convenient storage spaces in the car for you to practically store anything. So it has been very intelligently designed to actually cater to customer needs of different kinds. So we believe there are many firsts in this car which customers will be happy to discover. And the design philosophy really incorporates several elements, you know, whether it is when you look at the alloy wheels, for instance, they're very unique, which will also leave a lasting impression. When you look at the way the boot has been integrated with the breakaway silhouette, that's also part of the design philosophy. So there are several elements in the car which will actually speak to the customer, almost call out to the customer
with an expressive as well as an inviting design.
Okay, so this is the design part. How about the fuel efficiency of Tigor, and how about the engine, where it is manufactured? And we should mainly concern about the Nepali market. Talking about the Nepali market, is it efficient, fuel efficiency?
Definitely. So it's a 1.2 liter Revertron engine, throwing 85 PS of power. It is again a multi-drive engine, which basically means that you have two options. You have a city option and an eco option.
Okay.
So imagine your default option is the city option. If you want to, which itself is a fuel efficient option, if you want to conserve fuel even more, you can switch to eco. Okay. So if Nepal, as we know, Kathmandu especially, is stop and go traffic. There's a lot of traffic on the road. So you may want to conserve fuel. So the eco mode lets you do that. Again, not a feature to be found in other cars. So it is definitely, it definitely scores good marks on both performance of the engine as well as fuel efficiency.
Fuel efficiency is quite convenient and efficient for the Nepali market as well.
Absolutely.
So what are the total number of sales outlets being targeted for Tigor?
Number of sales outlets?
Exactly.
So currently, we have a very strong partner, of course, in Shipradi. We've been partners for, this year we'll be actually completing 35 years of partnership with Shipradi. Passenger vehicles is more recent, it's 20 years, 2000, we started in 2000, so it's about 17 years. Today we have 20 showrooms and 24 service points for passenger vehicles. The Tigor will be available across all these locations.
Okay.
So across Nepal. So I think the intention is to actually really reach out to customers all over Nepal.
Okay, coming out from Tigor and talking about the whole Tata Motors strategy, what is the main strategy to increase the Nepali market, focusing on Nepali market?
I would say really it's two-pronged. One is, of course, the fact that we need to keep bringing in superior product propositions to the market, which we have done successfully the last 3 launches. Today's Tigor, we'll see how the response is. We're quite confident. But if you look at the Zest, Bolt and the Tiago, they've done extremely well in the market in terms of the reception they got in the market, in terms of the market shares that we achieved because of these introductions. If you look at...
Have you expected the same from Tigor? Are you expecting?
I would expect actually
in Nepali market
strengthening of this result because of the kind of vehicle that it is. And we believe that with the Tigor, we should actually become leaders in the sedan segment in Nepal. So that's our objective in launching the Tigor in Nepal.
So you have just launched in Kathmandu Valley. Tigor has been just launched in Kathmandu Valley. What about the outside, the other district outside the valley? Have you had planned about that?
Absolutely. I think the next launch, if I'm not mistaken, is actually slated for the day after tomorrow. Soon after that, several other locations. So this car is going to be available across Nepal.
Okay. So what are the good remarks and possibilities of Tigor, emphasizing on Nepali market?
I would say that for a young and growing market and a customer who's really looking for the maximum from his car, and I'm really referring to the young Nepali who has joined the workforce recently, who has aspirations, this car should meet their expectations very well because of its attractive design, because of all the features on comfort, convenience, connectivity, technology, performance that it offers. And of course, don't miss the extremely attractive introductory price, which will make it affordable for these young customers.
So as a car maker, how much has Tata evolved over the years, transformed over the years with the introduction of latest brands like Tiago and Tigor?
So I think this journey began about 4 years ago when we embarked on really revamping our passenger vehicle portfolio. And since the time that has happened, we've actually gone from strength to strength. not just in Nepal but in other markets as well. So clearly the launch of new products coupled with, in the case of Nepal for instance, we have a very strong partner in ShipReady. Through their network and reach and distribution, they're actually able to offer us a very superlative sales and service experience. ShipReady in itself is a brand in Nepal which customers trust. So the partnership of Tata and ShipReady has actually meant that customers have started believing in the Tata brand and actually have started accepting. I told you earlier that all the new launches that we have had, we have got new customers in our fold. There are the earlier ones who come back, but we also got new customers with each launch. And that's what we expect with the Tigor also. So, you know, we'll have customers who have so far not tried out a Tata. Maybe they'll look at us and they'll go. So that's the expectation.
Okay, any other new products? Can we expect any other new products after Tigor and Tiago from Tata Motors?
So in the last 4 years, in the last 2 years, we've launched 4 products, which is actually quite a lot, given that for a long time we hadn't launched something new.
Okay.
I can't divulge details, but I think I can say with some confidence that in the coming 1 year, we should be able to launch 2 more products.
Okay.
I won't give you details of what these are, but we should be able to launch 2.
We'll look forward to it.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
दर्शकवृन्द, हामीसँग हुनुहुन्थ्यो टाटा मोटर्स हेड अफ इन्टरनेशनल बिजनेस फर प्यासेन्जर कार्स का हेड मिस्टर जोनी ओमन। हवस् त कार्यक्रमबाट बिदा दिनुहोस्। नमस्ते।